This is a demonstration on how to put dimensions in SOLIDWORKS, add layers, put your drawings on a title block, printing, adding line weights, fixing your arrowheads, and adding center lines to drawings. We'll be doing this using the tailstock clamp, which is something you should have already modeled. You need to take notes on this, so if you need to pause the video just for a second to take notes, I highly suggest that because these videos won't be there for every drawing. All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and open up the tailstock clamp. And you should have already modeled this, and there it is, the tailstock clamp. All right, let's start off by setting up a paper. So in SOLIDWORKS, we're going to have a separate file for the title block. It doesn't work the same way as AutoCAD. So we're going to go to File, New, and we're going to go ahead and set up the B-size template in inches, because this is an inch drawing, and hit OK. So there's actually two files open. You've got the part file open, and then you've got the title block file open. All right, as you can see here in the side, we have our tailstock clamp, and we're going to go ahead and double click on that. And when you do, you should see an orientation box that comes up. This is going to allow us to bring our views into the sheet. So we're going to do just that. We're going to go to the front view. We're going to click on it, and we're going to drag it in, and we're going to kind of place it where you think the front view should go. And then you're going to go ahead and place your side view by just sliding your mouse up. Notice that they stay aligned, and place in the top view. And then we'll come over here and we'll place the side view. Now once you've placed the views, we'll do the isometric while we're there. Pull that up at the corner there, and then hit escape a couple times. Once you've got them placed, you can simply slide them. You can see the little box on the outside. If you place the box out, you see that little red area there? So you can just kind of slide these things around, and you can see how the views stay oriented, and you can't really misalign the views. So I'm going to slide this over, give myself plenty of room, and they look pretty good. On the 3D view, we're going to go ahead and pick inside there, and we're going to set the scale on that a little smaller. It's a little bit big there, so we're going to go ahead and use a custom scale of 1 to 2. That'll make that thing smaller and fit in. The thing we'll do is we'll set the shading on that little 3D view, so that looks a little bit better there. Perfect. All right, hit escape a couple times. Now we want to show the hidden lines on the part, and it doesn't do that by default. So if you pick on the primary view, which in this case was the front, you'll notice that we have display style, and we have 5 of them. We're going to choose the second one from the left, hidden lines visible. And you can see when you do the primary view that the other 2 views, in this case, come along for the ride. So looking pretty good. The hidden lines are all solved. We don't have any center lines, but the hidden lines are perfect and the solid lines are perfect. All right, let's talk about those hidden lines, and let's talk about the center lines. You can see with our layer here, if that layer is not open, by the way, you can just right click on the top here and hit the layer button there, and it may come up there, and it might come in down here on the bottom. It might see where it is right there on the bottom. It may come in there on your first time, and let's just drag this up here so we can see it. Okay, you can see the layers that come with SOLIDWORKS out of the box. We have dimensions, notes, section lines, object 1 and 2, title block, and tables. I want center lines, so I don't see one there, so we're going to make a new layer. Just like in AutoCAD, we're going to make a new one. New, and we're going to call it center. Let's set a color. We'll make that red and hit OK. You don't need to put a line style on that. It's going to be automatic based on the way SOLIDWORKS puts them in. All right, hit OK. So if you look here, we should be on the center line layer. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Let's change that back to object 1. Let's do this first. Let's take this primary view before we start doing hidden or center lines, and let's take this primary view and let's change to object 1. What that's going to do is it's going to put all of the primary lines in the object layer. All right, and then click off of it. Now we'll go to center line. All right, here we go. So we're going to go to annotation and center mark. This is exactly like AutoCAD. You just pick the circle, the center line's there, hit the green check, and you're done. Real easy. We're also going to do center lines, which don't come in automatically as well. Center line, you can pick the edge and the edge, and it puts it down the middle. Same thing here, pick the edge, and it puts it down the middle. And green check it. Okay, what is next? Let's go ahead and set up our line weights. SolidWorks is not going to do the line weights by default, so we have to set them up. So we're going to go into this place versus custom here down at the bottom right corner, and we're going to edit document units. There's a couple things I would like to do here. I'd like to change the line weights. So we're going to go to line thickness, and we're going to change the normal line to what we want our object lines to be, which is 0.020. That should be good. I don't really have any thick lines on this one, so that's really the only one we have to change. All right, and we're going to go to dimensions. The arrowheads out of the box are a little bit too big. They're like the AutoCAD ones when we first start, so we're going to make the length of those things 0.125, just like we do with the again with AutoCAD. I think the text size is actually just fine, so we're going to hit OK on that. And we're looking pretty good there. I think we're all set up to go. So let's go ahead and get some dimensions on this thing. So we're going to go to Insert. Let's put this on the dimension layer first. Dimensions. We're going to go to Insert, Model Items. We're going to do entire model. Not selected features the default, but we want entire model. And we're going to use dimension placement in Sketch. And hit the green check and watch this. Oh, this is really cool. So all the dimensions exactly where you put them are there. So this is where you get a chance to move them around. You guys know how to dimension, so let's see. Let's take that one, move it out a little bit. You can see that the extension lines sometimes need to be pushed around a little bit, like so. Move that up a little bit. Dimension to the contour of the part. If things look kind of squishy in there, you can always move dimensions out like so. I think that's what we did on the other one as well. And bring it out like so. So that looks pretty good there. Let's see. That's 750. I think I want that over here. So the way you move a dimension, don't ever delete a dimension, by the way. Don't delete dimensions. If you pick the dimension, you'll hold the Shift key down and then grab it, left click, hold, and drag it and let go. It'll move it to the other view. So don't delete them, but you can certainly move them to another view. And you can see the grips over here. I'm just going to bring those back to where they need to be. Come on, like that, and like that. And that looks significantly better than it did on the other view. And now we have enough room here to get that 30 in without squishing it. That 250 I'm not really digging. I think I'm going to move that 250 off to the side like that. That 3.750, that looks pretty good there. I'm going to make the 5 line up. They kind of snap in really nicely with each other, which is pretty cool. This 2.375 is also a problem. We want the dimension to the hole itself. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the 0.750. I'm going to click on the dimension. I'm going to hold the Shift key down. I'm going to drag it up, and I'm going to put it on this view. And that's much better. We move these apart. That looks pretty good there. This 0.750 looks pretty good, but I don't like those arrows in there. So if you just click on the inside, see how it kind of snaps? See how it snaps and just clicking. There you go. That 2.625, I have no idea where that thing came from. Don't ever delete a dimension. I'm not sure where it came from, but what I want you to do is right click and hide. Don't ever delete a dimension. You can hide them if you don't need them, but don't delete them because that was used in the modeling. Let's see, that 1.500 should be on the other side here because it's an overall size we want in between the views. That looks pretty good. Let's see, as we look around here, that 30 doesn't look very good there. I'm going to bring that out here. It's okay to cross extension lines, so that one's all right. Okay, so that actually feels pretty good. I think that there's no missing dimensions and they're not squished. They're easy to read. Oh, I see 2 750s there. See that? See, there's 1, there's 2. I think I like that one better. So we're going to take that one and right click and hide. I think we did it because we did the cut over here with a 750 and we did the angle over here with a 750, but we don't need both of them. So right click hide. Don't, like I said, don't ever delete dimensions. Okay. Your last play is the title block. Title blocks are kind of funky. Again, there's different files. You've sort of seen the part itself kind of linked into the title block. So you're going to right click on the title block and edit sheet format. And this is where you can come in here and you can put your name in. Call M Brown. You might have to abbreviate because they're pretty big right there. So if you have to do your first initial and last name, that's fine. And then double click here and then give the name of the drawing. This thing's called the tailstock clamp. I'm going to actually hit enter here because otherwise this is going to go off the sheet. And we'll have to find a way to get this text a little bit smaller. Okay, that looks pretty good. We do need to put the drawing number on here, and this is the way you're going to do it. You're going to be in annotation. You're going to go to note, and let's put this on the notes layer. Okay, and then you can see we have leaders on there. See how there's a leader, but if you go over here to leader and there's a no leader one right there, see on the top left corner, and then we can drop that in. And I think this is SW3, I think. SW3, whichever one it is. Plop it in like that. So we are in pretty good. I like the title block. It's all good. The notes are down here. So we're going to, once we're done, we're going to right click. I'm still in that command. I'm going to right click and we're going to, come on now, right click and edit, sorry, right click, edit title block. So we're going to go back to edit sheet now. And now we're back in the sheet. So I was not getting a right click on there. So the sheet is now there. Let's edit sheet to get back into it. Right click edit sheet. All right, the drawing is good. We're going to save it. File, save as. I'd like you to save it not just as the name of the part, like tailstock clamp, but just give me like a WTB or something like that. I'll put it 2 here because I think I already did this demo. And hit save. So you actually have the part and then the part with the title block. And that's it. Let's go ahead and print this thing. So file, print. You're going to be on the M750. Let's go to properties. Let's set the paper size to 11 by 17. Effects, print on. I think that all should be good. Hit OK, and then hit OK, and you should be good. So there goes your part. Okay, I think you're good to go.